There we go, and now we put on the glasses. Let's see how well I can look like Dwight. I know you only watched like 2 episodes of that show, but yeah.
Dude, the looks are good.
Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode of the iTunes Fan Podcast. As always, I'm Teddy Maggart from the iTunes Fanboy.
And my name is Alpha DeWolf.
And just as a brief disclaimer before we get started with the rest of this podcast is that, or actually a couple ones, is that number one, in case you can't tell by my voice, I am currently sick. It's just a minor cold, but it does have a tendency to get a little bit worse at night when we're recording, which is when we're recording, so, and especially after talking for a while, so that's probably why my voice sounds strange. And if you're watching the video version and you notice that I'm wearing a button-down shirt and a tie, I might have worn a button-down shirt on the show before, but the reason why I'm wearing a tie is because today for our school spirit week we had to dress up in a costume. So I dressed up like Dwight from The Office, which obviously included a shirt and tie, and I did have the. And yeah, I wore the glasses and had the middle part and everything. I obviously didn't do that for this show, but yeah, I have.
You should have. You should have.
If you want me to, do you want me to get the glasses and change my hair?
Dude, do it. Do it. We don't have that many topics. We got to do something to keep the show interesting.
All right. Hang on. I think I know where I set the glasses. Yeah. Now I have glasses, and they cost me like $8. I know you envy me so badly right now.
Yeah, mine are literally 100 times that.
And I also wore the proper.
The haircut.
I also wore business shoes too. But yeah, let me see how well I can get this without a brush. There we go. And now we put on the glasses. Let's see how well I can look like Dwight. I know you only watched like 2 episodes of that show, but yeah.
Dude, the looks are good.
All right, let's get back to my normal look, because these glasses are smudged very easily, and I'm not great at cleaning glasses. So.
Oh, dude, I'm the worst, and yet I wear them daily.
Well, these are also like $8 glasses that are. So yeah.
Should set that as your profile picture.
I will not, or for my contact picture. Nah, I think I might put I might put it up on screen as reference, but for reference, my contact photo that's my profile picture is me as a. My contact photo is me in my homecoming tuxedo when I was in the homecoming court last school year. So maybe I should update. Maybe I should set a photo of me dressed up as Dwight Schrute as my contact photo.
Dude, you pulled that look off so well.
I'm around the same height as the actor who played him too, and my hair is the same color. So
yeah, you pulled that look so well.
Alright, but this is not a podcast about beets. This is a podcast about, and I'm talking about the vegetable. This is not a podcast about paper. This is a podcast about technology and the Idiot Award. So shall I go ahead and get started with our Idiot Award nominations?
Alright.
Because I have several.
I noticed.
So I have lots and lots of I have an infinite supply of Idiot Awards. So this first one is. So, for reference, at my school, my best friend is trying to convince me that gaslight me into thinking that birds are not real, and that they're actually government spies. And so I made a poll on my Twitter and Instagram story and YouTube.
That explains
are
it.
Birds real? Yes.
I've been trying to figure out what happened here. He's.
Yeah, that's what happened. But this one guy commented, I'm the biggest bird, which I think that's like some type of Gen Z slang or Gen Alpha slang. I don't remember exactly what it means. I know it's like, but I replied, You are not the biggest bird because birds cannot type comments. Even if you use voice dictation, yet your birds state that talking birds that are kept as pets by humans are not the biggest bird.
Say he's the biggest bird brain.
Yes. And then this one guy commented on my video on my community post of Orangey was standing on my lap, my cat. This one guy commented 67, and I replied, "Why is that relevant to this post?"
Because it's not. And I'm scrolling through the rest of the. We got Tavi visiting the auto show. Can't show you those pictures. All right, what's this?
So this one guy commented, "I show you hamster," on my, I think on that same comment of Orangey being on my lap, and I replied, "I do not see a hamster." He replied, "The iTunes family, yes, and legs are semicolon, mouth is dash, and chunk is two parentheses." I replied, "I still do not comprehend how hamsters are relevant to this post because they're not." And then he replied, "The iTunes fanboy cat is animal, hamster is animal." And I replied, "Yes, but there's different species of animals." And then he replied, "They are both cute." I ended the conversation after that.
Yeah, don't get it.
And then this one guy commented on my video of what if Apple removes the iPhone splash. This one guy commented, "Blink twice if you were held at gunpoint to read off a script." I replied, "For reasons I explained in my video where I addressed my voice, I chose to read off a script."
What's the problem with reading off of a script?
Yeah, it makes your video so organized, and it makes post-production so much easier.
That one I'm just... What's the problem with reading off of a script? If I find it really helpful, even though most of the time I can't fit in as many idiot moments like I did in... well, it's not up... I just recorded it before the show. But basically, I wore a wig for one of my videos. I look like a complete idiot. But nonetheless. No, I prefer to do scripting. It's just, it takes me so much time. And that's why I don't do it.
Yes, I find scripting irritating how much time scripting takes to be annoying too. But yeah, But actually, you have an Idiot Award too from February 3rd.
I do. Where is said Idiot Award? I'm trying to scroll back on my messages here. Oh, that idiot! Yeah! I still can't believe he actually did that. My first thought when I saw that comment, well, that's one way to waste your time.
Yeah, so would you mind explaining what the comment actually is?
So, oh, right, because some people only listen to the audio. So the comment on my 2009 iMac video in 2025, comment reads, "I counted, quote unquote, actually used 25 times. That's another reason why I prefer scripting. It's because I use the same words too many times.
I mean, I do that too, even when I script, but yeah, that is annoying, I will say that, but yeah. Oh, and then this is another one of mine from February 2nd, that is on my video of comparing Safari versus Chrome versus Firefox versus Brave, and this one guy commented, "Are you drunk?" I was not, by the way. I'm always sober. And that's all the Idiot Awards I have.
Alrighty. Yeah, I forgot about that one Idiot Award. Alright.
I did too, although to be fair, it was almost 2 weeks ago.
Oh yeah, that's right. We didn't record
all my schools. Yeah. Our next topic is that all my school teachers now have MacBooks.
What took them so long?
I don't know, but they have them now. And my English teachers even mocked how she said that it was however she was trying to do something. And she said, "That's this stupid computer," and I immediately got mad. And he said, "Yeah, Max, that computer is not stupid. Because she doesn't understand that Windows is just too unstable.
And so bad. Hey, that's another topic down the list, but nonetheless,
Yeah.
no, it's good that they're finally, someone there finally grew some brain cells and realized, hey, these Windows PCs, the cheap ones kind of suck, and you can't really get much done, and they crash all the time. There's better options out there.
I believe they're MacBook Air. Exactly, but that's really all I have to say. So shall I move on to our next topic that is stupid?
Oh. Yeah, this is pretty dumb.
So SpaceX merged with XAI so that way AI data centers can be launched into space. Now, why couldn't Elon integrate this autonomy Tesla autonomy stuff into XAI? But also that is stupid, launching AI data centers into space, because I think we can all agree that maybe that full self-driving is probably a better use of resource, or autopilot especially, that's probably a better use of AI resources than Grok.
Yeah, that I can agree with. But, I mean, the reason why they're doing it is because we're struggling to get energy here. And so they're launching them into space, so that way, supposedly, they get a better view of the sun or something like that. Though, I'd start to ask if the satellite's on the other side of the Earth compared to where the sun is.
That actually reminds me of an idea I came up with back in 2020. I think I came up with, and the idea is that it's a fake sun that's on the opposite side of the real sun compared to Earth. So that way, it's effectively summer all year long, no matter where you are.
But I thought you liked the idea of winter.
No, I don't.
Yeah, did you enjoy your first UP style winter?
It wasn't our first, but it was the last big ice storm we had in quite a while. But it got so boring in the end because there was ice, so we couldn't drive anywhere, and the snowplows took forever to actually clean up the roads because we don't have the equipment like you do.
I'm also wondering if they didn't put block heaters on their diesel engines, so they probably had a hard time starting them.
I wouldn't be surprised about that, but I'm not part of that field, so I can't say. But shall I move on to our next topic that has some very good news?
Yes! This applies to me mostly because I use this browser on all of my PCs.
I just use Safari, so...
Yeah, but Firefox decided, hey, people don't seem to like this AI BS. So how about we integrate a kill switch into the browser? So that's right. Firefox is bringing an AI kill switch into the browser.
Wasn't that after backlash of them announcing integrating more AI into Firefox?
Most likely. But I mean, hey, there's a lot of tech companies right now that are just starting to figure out nobody wants this AI crap. Nobody wants it.
The only people that do are people that cheat, that don't do their work.
And if
anything, or else people
anything,
just don't understand.
Yeah, and if anything, it's now kind of starting to turn into a deterrent. Jeez, that's a tongue twister.
Exactly.
Yeah, at this point, AI is actually starting to become more of a deterrent than it is a selling point. And there's a few tech companies out there that are finally starting to realize that. Dell is one of them. Firefox is one of them.
You mean Mozilla?
Yeah, that's right. Mozilla. So yeah,
now,
Dell,
if only Mozilla
can
fix their revenue.
Yeah. It's part of the reason why I still use Firefox. I want them to still go on. because everything else is basically Chromium based.
Except for Safari.
Yeah, but Safari is not available for PC, and I need a web browser for PC. So,
because Safari used to be on Windows, but Apple killed that. So
yep. But that's why I use Firefox. It's because right now it's basically the only web browser available for PC that is not Chromium based.
Some guy just raced by my house in a little sports car, I think.
So,
but yeah, the Firefox AI kill switch, and sure, I think it's really cool that they're doing that. And if I was on a PC, which I don't even use PCs, I don't use PCs at all anymore since my school is now basically upgraded to all Macs.
Dude, that is so exciting to hear. I
like even in coding class now, we have Mac Minis in there.
Well, I'd hope, given that it's coding, because I mean, I don't know if you're learning Swift or not, but
we are learning. What we use code.org and we use JavaScript.
Though hey, right now if they want to expand into Swift, they can.
Because so let me explain specifically how coding classes work at my school. So there's the foundational class, which is just the basic computer science foundations, where you basically just learn the basics. Like you might learn how to code in HTML. You learn how to build basic apps. At the end, you'll usually build a game, etc., etc. And then that's the introductory class. And then so at my school, then there's Coding 1 and AP Computer Science Principles. They're literally the same class, just that one has an AP exam, one doesn't. I've taken both of them because AP Computer Science Principles basically never makes it my school. And they're basically the same. And they're like, you're still learning fundamentals of every programming language in there, just like in the Foundations class, but you still code in JavaScript just like in Foundations, at least in the class I had, because we use code.org in there for the most part. And then in Coding 2, which is, I can't remember the name of the next, what's supposed to be in college. There's no AP version of that. It's offered at my school because coding classes, once you get up that high, they're very hard. They don't typically make it at my school, but they rarely make it at my school. But that is when you actually start learning like specific languages. And I think the Coding 2 class that was there at my school last year, I think they coded in Java, if I'm not mistaken. Don't quote me on that, though.
Though, I mean, I'm just saying, if they ever wanted to expand into Swift for not just coding, but I mean, even like teaching app development or something like that.
Yeah, probably. That might be in the future, but we'll have to see how that goes. But you get that. Shall we move on to our next topic?
Oh yeah, this is Tabby really should be here for this because nobody hates this company more than he does.
Yeah.
So, HP Hewlett Packard has decided to launch a laptop subscription service.
So, here, is this like leasing a laptop?
Oh, no, it's not leasing. Because, like, with a lease, you get to buy it out after the lease. Remember the NZXT PC program? The rental program I mentioned a little while ago?
Why would anybody want to rent an HP computer? Because most HP computers that people actually buy are the cheap ones anyway.
I know! They are so bad! So, yeah, I guess HP decided to rip a page out of NZXT's book, and they decided, let's form a laptop rental program. Now, I will say the rental prices they are charging are not anywhere near as egregious as NZXT's was. but it's still not particularly a good value. And also, again, this is HP we're talking about. When have they ever made good computers?
They might. They probably. I think they did back in the day, but that's been a while.
No, these days HP really cannot make. They can't make good hardware, and you'd think, okay, they don't have great hardware. They'd have to make up for it elsewhere, but they don't. Their customer support is terrible, and then they pull stupid BS like the printer stuff. Everyone I talk to now says when their HP printer breaks, they are never buying a new one again. They are going elsewhere. Because everyone is fed up with the stupid HP printer situation. And I can't say I blame them. So it's like, what is actually good about this company? They don't make good hardware. And they treat their customers like garbage.
HP might go bankrupt sometime, but they bought Humane, for crying out loud.
It's true. Oh, but just so you guys know, I am not recommending you rent an HP laptop. It doesn't matter what price category. Not a basic laptop, not a premium laptop, not a gaming laptop. Do not rent an HP laptop. For one, they suck compared to the competition. And two, well, you will never own it. You will never own the laptop. And apparently, if you do stop paying them, they will send a software update and brick the laptop.
Cold Fusion made a great video about why subscriptions are getting too out of control, and this is a prime example of that.
That was such a good video. But yeah, this is just... No! Absolutely not! It's just... The reason why these rental programs exist, they're pitching it towards people who can't afford a nice computer. But this is even worse.
Because they don't get to own it outright afterwards. Oh, and HU computers are often cheaper anyway.
Yeah, that's the whole reason this program exists. It's for the people who can't exactly afford a computer. If you can't afford a new computer, then go to the used market. You don't have to buy new every single time.
In fact, you shouldn't.
It's like people buy used cars all the time. And there is such a thing as a used tech market. It does exist. I mean, people buy used MacBooks all the time. It's because they're great laptops, and after a bit of age, well, now you can pick them up for cheaper. And that doesn't change the fact that they're still great laptops, because they are still great laptops.
As long as you don't buy one that's a decade old or something.
Yeah, true. But I digress. It's just, do not rent your hardware. Because, oh, you can't afford it, so I guess I have to rent it. Oh, thank goodness they allow me to rent it, because I don't have to pay all that money up front. Well, it's just, this
most
type
people
of behavior...
finance their laptops anyway.
I'd argue no, most people don't. The only people who finance computers are businesses.
Huh.
Because when you think of it, if you finance a computer, you're going to end up paying more.
That is true.
But the reason why businesses can justify paying more for the computer is because they're going to make money off of it, and they're going to recoup those costs much quicker than if you're buying it for personal use. So, yeah, it just preys upon people who are not good at managing their finances. It's just it's scummy and all of the wrong reasons. I can't stand this type of stuff. I was not a fan to see NZXT doing this, and the fact that HP is getting on board with it. Everybody already hated them after the whole printing debacle, and basically everyone I talk to, whenever it comes to
you're just repeating the same
printers.
stuff over and over again.
I know, it's just so annoying. So don't fall for it, guys. We're not that stupid. Don't fall for it. Yes, next topic. More AI crap. Lovely. So
it's good news.
But I think I had this. Yeah, this is good AI crap news. So it appears the AI bubble is finally starting to burst. Because if you take a look at a few tech companies' stocks,
I guess today was the right day to wear a tie to TIFP.
Yes,
to talk finances.
Okay, so obviously Apple is down because, well, they've never got their AI stuff together. Let me see. Microsoft is...
Google's down.
Wow, Microsoft has plummeted. Yep, Google's down.
AT&T is still up, though. Probably because they never got into AI.
Thank goodness. So, but Nvidia's stock is falling too, albeit not as drastically, but Nvidia's stock is taking a hit. Oracle's taking a hit. Yeah, stocks are falling. The bubble is beginning to burst. Finally. Even though that means we're probably heading for an economic recession.
Well, it's inevitable, which is very... And it's glad to see that AI is finally not vital, but but we've discussed this in so many episodes. Shall we move on to our next topic? That's, again, also good news.
Yes. Microsoft does not give us good news that often. And so when they do give us good news, we'll take it with a massive grain of salt. The reason why I'm saying this is because Microsoft supposedly is admitting that they were wrong about AI and they want to focus on what we, as in me, Teddy, you, the user, what we actually want in Windows.
Windows has never really been stable, so I don't know if I can ever trust... I don't know if I'll ever be able to trust them, because even Windows 7 isn't that stable for me, but... yeah, that'll be interesting to see, alright?
Yeah, that... I legitimately do not know whether we can take their word for it or not.
Same, because it was...
Because they've said stuff like this before. And yet,
and I've said this before, and I've said it again, and I'll say it again. The whole basis of Windows, MS DOS, it was based off of a clone of another operating system, or it was. But Bill Gates bought 86 DOS, which later became MS DOS, which was a ripoff of CPM.
Yep. I don't know. I just don't think I. What's the saying? Talk is cheap.
I've never heard of that saying, but Microsoft is talking the talk, but they're not walking the walk.
Yes, we want to actually see them walk the walk. We want them to actually focus on stability, and I'm really hoping, based off the fact that they said what we want, Does that mean less tying a Microsoft account and internet connectivity and data collection? Are they going to start walking back some of that stuff?
Exactly, because, I mean, it's time for them to get walking.
Yeah, because those are the two biggest issues I can think of with Windows 11 in particular. Stability, it's Windows. It's just not there. And then the whole Microsoft account, BS.
Exactly, because from all the talking they're doing, their throat is probably hurting worse than mine right now.
Mine is so dry, but that's because I've been recording for hours at this point.
Be grateful Be grateful you have your health.
My sister does not at the moment.
Does she have a cold too?
Yeah, I think so. But I mean, it would be so nice if Microsoft actually did walk the walk. So that way I wouldn't have the Windows activation issues I'm having with my PC server right now. Should have added that to the list of topics.
Oh, basically what's happening. Alva, please explain what that's doing.
Yeah, so the problem is, let me turn off the focus thing so you guys can see through the camera a bit better. Portrait off. And I gotta... Where's OBS? iMac camera, portrait off. There. So now everyone can see. All right, so this is the server. Do you guys notice anything different about the server?
It's off. It has a new motherboard.
It does have a new motherboard. It is not the same motherboard. I pulled the motherboard out of this to use it. One second. Gosh, this thing's heavy. This thing is much heavier with a computer built into it. Oh. This. Can I angle it so you can see through the glass? There. There's the old motherboard. It's in this case now. Gosh, this thing's heavy. So. Oh, who knew computers could weigh so much? I'm so used to Macs that are so light and... light!
You've clearly never lifted a molar Mac before, which is the heaviest Mac ever made at 60 pounds. You know what a molar Mac is, right?
No, I don't.
You don't know what a molar Mac is. I don't know.
I do
might
not.
have told you this before. So, look it up.
Alright, let's see.
Look up a picture of molar Mac.
Doing that
It's technically the Power Macintosh G3 all-in-one that was sold from March until May of 1998 only to educational institutions and goes for thousands of dollars. It was the first Mac to use translucent plastic and predates the iMac G3. You'll see why it's called a molar Mac once you get the picture.
What's the weight of it?
60 pounds.
Goodness gracious.
You got a picture?
Yeah, I do.
Do you like the look of it?
I mean, it's an old Mac, so I don't really care for it, but...
A lot of people think it's ugly but it looks like a tooth, but one thing that people actually really like about the iMac G3 that Quinn from Snaz Labs mentioned when he made a video on it in 2015 is that it is upgradable and it is configured in such a way that when you disassemble it, because it's designed to be easily repairable by IT people at schools, when you disassemble it, the motherboard just slides and RAM and hard drive and all the stuff you actually want to repair slides out of the way of the dangerous parts like CRT and power supply.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, so as a result, because it didn't really sell very much, it's worth. You can pick one up for thousands of dollars.
That's insane. Because that's how much the computer below me costs. It costs about $3,000. I'm not joking.
Let me look up how much a Molar Mac costs right now.
Yeah.
Molar Mac.
Nonetheless, though, I was talking about the activation issues with this. Basically, because of the motherboard swap, Windows decided, hey, we're on a new computer. Therefore, your key's not valid. So we're not going to stay activated for you. Microsoft.
Yikes.
It's the same drive.
Oh,
I didn't change the drive.
So I found one. I found one for 1,000 Molar Mac for $1,500, one for 2,000, one for just $500, and then I found two for just $300 for 4 GB hard drive.
What a wild price range.
Glad to see that Molar Macs are getting cheaper. Maybe I'll have to pick one up sometime.
Yeah. But still, all I did was swap the motherboard. It's the same exact SSD. That's it. I took components out of old motherboard, put them in new motherboard, and that's it. And yet, Windows decided, no, we're not going to stay activated for some stupid reason.
And it didn't. And even if you try to activate it, it wouldn't even let him do that.
Yeah, I was constantly trying to reactivate it. I found my product key that I had purchased, but it's stuck in this loop of invalid product key or something like that. So I'm trying to find support from Microsoft, and they have been oh so helpful in guiding me through their website. Well, I have not spoken to any Microsoft customer support representative. I tried calling them, believe it or not, but I could not get to an agent no matter how many times I tried to say, get me to a human.
You didn't go on gethuman.com?
I should have, but no, you could not.
Because that website will tell you exactly how to get to a human.
It's still completely... This is why everybody hates AI crap. That's what Microsoft tried to do. They tried to pawn me off with AI crap and ultimately ended up with, oh, if you're looking for activation support, just go to our website. It's like, your website isn't where do I go when the website doesn't work?
Exactly, as we've ranted about lots of times.
So, yeah, I gotta figure out what's up with that. What I'm probably gonna end up doing is calling my grandpa, who is savvy with Windows and all that, see if he can figure out what the heck is going on, how to get a hold of a human, and just get that thing to work. 'Cause I paid $140 for that license. I'm gonna use it.
It's gone up $10, I believe.
Well, it was initially $130. It's now $140. So.
Yeah, because Windows is worth so much more money now.
Oh yeah, it is totally worth more money. Dude, I'm going to be so sad. I'm going to cry so many tears when I have to pay for a Windows 11 Pro license. Do you know how much that costs?
$300.
Okay, not that high, but it's $200.
Overpriced.
For a POS piece of software that does not work 50% of the time. Are they mad?
I don't know, but shall we move on to our next topic? Shall we move on to our next topic, which you added, and I have no idea what this is about.
Oh. You haven't heard anything about the Rivian R2?
Though I haven't heard anything about the Rivian R2 media drives, no.
Oh, well, Rivian is now, they've coordinated with a few media outlets like CarWow, Doug DeMuro, I think KBB was on that too, but I don't know. I don't remember the entire roster. To my surprise, no. Out of Spec actually was not invited to this.
Huh.
I find that bizarre. But, no, supposedly they've let media outlets drive R2 pre-production vehicles. And at this point, I guess the specs are finally finalized and such. Oh, it is so good to see that this vehicle is going to come with NACS. That's the biggest excitement I have for it.
Yeah.
Though, I'm personally a bit confused with some of the numbers that they've finalized. And it's because they claim, I believe it's a 90 kilowatt hour battery. I think it's 90 kilowatt hours. And yet, 320 miles of range. Let me do the math real quick. 320 divided by 90 kilowatt hours. That is 3.5 miles per kilowatt hour. That vehicle has to achieve in order to achieve that range.
Is that impossible?
Because of its incredibly boxy design, I don't think it can do that. Because if I recall, Lucid Gravity, which is a bigger vehicle than R2, and Lucid focuses so heavily on trying to make their vehicles efficient. Even Lucid Gravity was struggling to break into the 3 miles per kilowatt hour. Now, granted, R2 is a bit smaller, but because Rivian is not as aerodynamic as the majority of the competition, because they focus so much on being a box, which there are practicality reasons for being a box on wheels. I get that. But it's going to cost you your aerodynamics, and therefore it's going to cost you your efficiency. And I have a hard time believing that this thing's going to get 3.5 miles per kilowatt hour based off of its appearance.
Exactly, but is that all you have to say about this car? Because, I mean, all I really have to say about it is that cool, I guess.
Mm-hmm. The only other thing left, too, is just I'm a bit disappointed in its charging capability based off the time they gave us.
How much time?
10 to 80 in 30 minutes.
Yikes.
That's about the same as Tesla.
Okay, that's not too bad, but still, that's not great.
It's not, but it's like,
not
it's 2026 and this is a brand new vehicle. Because when you've got iX3 coming out with 10 to 80s in under 20 minutes, and CLA 10 to 80 in under 20 minutes, and what is that? Volvo EX60 that was recently announced. That thing will do 10 to 80 in under 15 minutes. It's just, I don't know, 10 to 80 in 30 minutes at this point? It just seems kind of weak sauce, just lackluster. Not very impressive. So,
speaking of unimpressive EV, shall we move on to our next topic?
Oh, yeah. So, on one hand, this is going to be Toyota's best EV ever. The problem is it's not saying much. So, the announcement is Toyota has recently showcased their 2027 Highlander. And to my knowledge, here's the interesting thing about this vehicle. From what I'm hearing, they're not offering this in gas or hybrid.
Huh. Oh. Oh no! This is Toyota we're talking about.
So there's room for concern based off of Toyota's previous EV attempts. BC4X. that disgrace of an EV.
BC4X.
Oh.
I should wait until I actually could cough.
Yeah.
BC4X.
Yes. Oh,
That actually got me coughing.
what a bad car. Basically, anybody who bought the BZ4X got it because the dealer was so desperate to get it off their lot, or because they are a blind Toyota loyalist. You do not buy a BZ4X because it's a good EV. It is not a good EV. It is a pretty bad EV. But from what I'm seeing with the Highlander, its specs are not that terrible. For the first time, this will actually be the first Toyota to pass the 300-mile mark in terms of range.
Wow, it took them that long.
I know, right? The BZ4X couldn't even hit 250. It couldn't even hit 250. So supposedly this will be the first Toyota to hit the 300-mile mark. Well, Toyota EV that'll hit the 300-mile mark. It'll be coming with a 100-ish kilowatt-hour battery pack. I am skeptical once again with the efficiency numbers that they're claiming, because let me do the math again. Calculator. It's nice that the iPad actually has a calculator.
That took them so long.
So I'll do 300.
Did it take them 14 or 15 years?
Yeah.
No way.
300 divided by...
When did the iPad get... It took them 14 years. Yeah, that's right. I had to remember when the iPad got a calculator.
No. So... Okay, it's not as egregious of a claim as was the R2 with its efficiency claims. Comparing this once again to the Lucid Air, which does focus on trying to be efficient, the Lucid Air was struggling to break 3 miles a kilowatt hour, and that's what Toyota is claiming. Toyota is claiming...
I don't believe Toyota can do that.
I don't think so either. Because if I recall, BZ4X was not efficient.
And this is Toyota EVs we're talking about.
Yes.
Toyota can't make EVs really well. They can't even make gas cars as well as they used to anymore, but they can't make EV. But they definitely cannot make EVs. They're good.
It's more real. I will say the efficiency is more realistic compared to what Rivian's claiming. But I'm still a little skeptical in them actually being able to achieve 3 miles per kilowatt hour, primarily because we know the BZ4X was not an efficient EV. That was a part of its problem.
Do they still make it?
They do. They just don't call it the BZ4X anymore. They just call it the BZ. They got rid of the 4X.
So that has the same. So it has the same name as what I nicknamed my cat, Beatrice BZ.
Probably, yeah. And to my knowledge, I will give them credit where credit is due. They have improved the car over time, but they've only improved it to... It's not bad. It's not like the worst thing, but it's still not good either. It still would not be my first choice. I'd only pick one up if I got like an amazing deal on it still. But that's all they've done with the car so far. They just updated it so it's not bad, but it's still not great either. It's pretty mid. Though I'm curious with they're using the Highlander nameplate, and that's a popular nameplate.
I mean, on one hand, it is an SUV, so I don't really care about it, but on the other hand, it is As I would much rather see a Sienna EV, but actually no, wait, maybe
I mean,
not,
same here.
But I mean, still a Highlander EV. That's gonna be an interesting. That's gonna be an interesting to see how the public takes that. But that's really all I gotta say about
and it has
that.
knacks. It has knacks.
That should be expected, given that Toyota announced they were switching to knacks.
Yep. So, the Highlander EV is going to have knacks. The charge port is still not exactly in my favorite place, but they've located it on the passenger front side of the car. My question is, how far back is the port too far back on the fender to the point where the V3 cable still isn't going to reach? Because, I mean, it's a known problem. Tesla V3 cables are so short. And the one car, despite that its charge port is in the passenger front location, the Porsche Taycan, it's too far back to the point where you still can't even park like a normal Tesla, except instead of backing in, you have to pull in. You still have to park like an idiot just to get the cable to reach the charge port.
And of course, parking like an idiot could possibly get you fined. So, and it could look dumb. So yeah, that.
So, nonetheless, I'm a bit concerned about how far back that charge port is and if Tesla V3 cables are going to reach. But once again, 10 to 80 in 30 minutes, nothing impressive. But I will say it is technically a better time than the BZ. BZ was such a bad charger. I think the BZ 4X was 10 to 80 in like 45 minutes or something like that. It was something egregious. And again, for only less than 250 miles of range. So if you're doing 10 to 80, you're getting like 80% of your range back. You're not even doing 200 miles. 45 minutes for not even 200 miles of range.
Wow. That's
how bad it was. And then there's the limit. Apparently, Toyota only lets you DC charge the BZ4X, and I think this still applies. Yeah, I think this still applies to the BZ. I think they only let you charge the BZ twice a day, and that's it. If you need to charge up a third time, you can't.
Oh my. I don't even know what to say other than that's stupid, but shall we move on to our next topic that's actually not stupid?
All right. So, yeah, that's the Highlander. We're on to rumors, and it's not even 8:30 yet. Okay. What have we got? iPhone Fold.
So, it's not even 7:30 yet in your region, but the iPhone Fold, so it's rumored to have volume buttons on the top, which that's interesting, I guess. eSIM only, which okay, I guess for
surprise.
But this is the big news that I want to share, which is that it's apparently going to have a blacked out rear camera. So in other words, the rear camera will be blacked out finally, like on
as in this.
Yes, as in the iPhone 10. Saying I'm gonna grab mine. I'll grab my 10. Yeah, as in this, it's obviously much bigger, but now that is why I want an iPhone Fold.
It took them 8 years, is it?
Yes.
It's going to take them about 8 years to finally recognize this is a clean design. This is a good design. I don't know why they couldn't have kept it that simple. How many years ago?
I know, but at least they're. If I get an iPhone Fold, then that will be one of my favorite things about it. But that'll be something for another day. But That's really all I have to say. So, do you have anything more to say, or shall we move on to our next topic?
I mean, I'm not entirely sure how I feel about volume buttons on the top of the device.
Same.
Especially when you're using it. Especially when you're using it in phone mode. Because it'll still be similarly shaped to this.
Yeah, you might. At that point, just use the volume buttons in the control center.
Yeah, because, I mean, the last time Apple had a button on the top of the phone was the iPhone 5S. Nope, scratch that. The original iPhone SE.
Yeah, and the 5S.
Yeah, but the phone was way smaller than this.
The phone. Let me grab my SE1 for reference to the bottom of the stack. So I'll be. Alright, this is gonna be quite a stack to have to go through. This is far easier to reach the power button on, and because Samsung started making bigger phones faster, that's why Apple technically copied Samsung, starting with the iPhone 6 with moving the power button to the side, because Samsung have been doing that all along with their smartphones. Yeah.
Though because it is a foldable phone, at that point, if you fold it up, well, then you got the power button and the volume buttons on the same side, which you know how I feel about that.
Yeah,
it's also bad.
Something around for buttons and pockets, confusing or just feeling around for them confusing. But Sean, at that point, if you're gonna put them on the top, maybe just don't put them on at all. But that's beside the point. So shall we move on to our next topic?
What's this? Right, this is an interesting one. I actually literally just recorded a video about this. But new MacBook Pros releasing this March due to manufacturing complications. I guess they were supposed to come out earlier, supposedly, but
yeah.
There's new MacBook Pros releasing this March due to manufacturing complications with M5 Pro and Max. Supposedly, what Apple's going to do is they're changing up the manufacturing process between M5 Pro and M5 Max, so that way, in theory, they take up the same amount of space on the motherboard. Because if I recall in teardowns of past Apple Silicon Mac teardowns, M Pro and M Max, they've always been different sizes.
Yep.
So, I guess what they're planning on doing this time around is they're going to make the same size dimensionally SoC, and they're going to choose how many cores. Yeah, they're going to choose how many cores are going to be in those dimensions, and if those cores aren't there, well, then it's just blank space.
I mean, in theory, that is, as Drew from Tales of Tech explained in his latest video about that is handy on one hand for if you want, like, the most RAM for having to get the best CPU or vice versa. However, I feel that if you want the best CPU or GPU, then you're already going to be getting the best RAM anyway. So, I mean, that's not anything super significant to me, but that's really just for manufacturing purposes. That way you can simplify the manufacturing process. So, I mean, I get that, which that's especially a thing that they need to prioritize now.
Oh, yeah, given the whole RAM-pocalypse going on and TSMC being overbooked and Apple losing favor with them and details like that. Although I can find a good scenario where, I mean, for the most part, I see this mostly benefiting consumers because let's say you're a programmer. If you're a programmer, you're not really going to be heavily using that GPU. But you still want a hefty CPU and maybe plenty of memory to go with it.
Are you going to be able to modify the CPU to be different than GPU though?
I'm hearing, I mean, I don't know if that's the case, but it allows that to happen.
If you are, then that will. Because if you are, then that'll be cool. But otherwise, But otherwise, no, I don't get it.
Yeah. No, I mean, this technology would enable this to happen. So that way you can spec up your CPU, but if you don't plan on using your GPU like you're programming or you're doing logic doesn't really need a GPU that much. But you want more CPU and memory, well, there you can now save a little money by not having to pay more for a GPU you're not going to use. In fact, the only thing I see this being a problem with is just a problem for Apple. It means they can't pull more money from you.
I mean, it honestly depends on what Apple does with this. But yeah, this will be interesting to see how this works. But that's really all I have to say about this topic. So shall I move on to our final one?
Yes. What's this? Insta360 and DJI, they are preparing to make mirrorless cameras.
That are effectively going to rival like DSLR cameras. So that way So basically, what's happening is that the Chinese companies are planning to take over the high end camera market.
Considering I'm not really in that market, I'm not entirely sure how to feel excited about it.
Yeah, exactly. Because I mean, it's not. Because all Chinese companies do is, for the most part, they just pirate other designs anyway. So
Yeah. I mean, I won't say I'm totally out of the market because when I move out of this space and I actually have a proper space of my own, I'd like to build a dedicated setup that's permanent and I don't have to keep shifting the camera around everywhere I go. And if that's the case, then I don't know, maybe continuity camera is great, but there's still compression. What I'd like to do is have a hardline connection between a camera and my Mac with OBS running. So that way, the files created, in theory, if I can get it hooked up to 10 gigabit Ethernet, I can just have it record directly to the server. So that way, when I go to my desk, I don't have to do any file transfers.
I mean, that would be handy for you since most of your videos don't actually show devices. That's kind of reminds me of what Drew from Tales of Tech is doing to a setup, which I mean, I obviously am not going to be doing that because a lot of my videos also involve actually showing devices.
That's true.
On camera,
yeah.
So for obvious reasons, that's not really going to work quite as well for me because I need a dynamic camera. But for you in some of my videos, but for you that would. And also, I don't have a lot of room at my desk anyway for that. But for you, that might make more sense.
Because, I mean, that was part of the reason why I bought the iMac. It's not being used for what I initially bought it for at the moment. I mean, it's doing fine. It's recording the show. I'm editing videos off of it. Though, as I've learned, I tried making one of those vlogs where I'm recording the whole process of me making a video. It did not go well at all. It was... I was dropping frames left and right. It was so bad.
Yikes.
So, that vlog ended up being completely unwatchable, so that's why I never uploaded it to the vlog channel. It was just so bad. The fans were constant non-stop. My monitor turned itself down to 20 hertz. It was so jittery. It's just... No, I wish Apple would put Pro Silicon in the iMac.
Tabby wishes that too. And so do I, frankly.
We need an iMac Pro again.
Well, it's rumored to come out this summer, which I know exactly what you'll be. I know exactly what you'll be buying if it comes out this long hot summer.
No, the thing is, I don't even know anymore because I'm saving up for the house.
That's true.
But I mean, the iMac does just fine with recording videos. It's not a problem.
And
It's
your
just
MacBook Pro can edit videos, so
yeah. Although at that point, once I moved out into my own house, when I build a desk, I probably purchase a M4 Pro or, well, whatever silicon is the latest at the time, an M Pro series Mac Mini, and use that to power the desk setup because
your MacBook is getting old.
no, it doesn't have 10 gigabit Ethernet.
Well, that too.
Yeah, I need 10 gig Ethernet.
I don't.
So, but no, I do see myself in that market eventually for when I'm trying to build the official permanent set. But as of right now, I don't see myself needing to buy a mirrorless camera, and I don't think I'm going to buy anything from the Chinese.
Yeah, same. Same. The only thing that Chinese are decent at making is EVs, and that's it. And that's on the inside, I should say.
Yeah, I mean, well, I will say they've got pretty impressive battery technology, albeit we have yet to see how it ages.
Yeah, but I mean, like, even the outsides of most Chinese EVs, like, even they just look like ripoffs of other foreign car companies' designs.
Yeah. I mean, when you look at Chinese EVs, though, their interiors, they're pretty impressive. Not gonna lie, especially for the price that they're charging. But
not their
the battery.
Not their gadgets.
Yeah, yeah. The big disadvantage with Chinese EVs is their software integration and driving dynamics. They're not good cars to drive, except the SU7. The Xiaomi car.
Oh, yeah, the driving dynamics are very crucial, so that makes sense. But in other news, we're out of topics.
That is crazy. It's only 7:40, and yet we polished off the list. What the heck?
It's February. There's not much tech news.
I suppose. I mean, I could throw this other piece of news in there. Though I don't know if we discussed this before. Did we discuss Amazon dropping UPS?
Maybe. Actually, no, we did not.
I don't think so. But yeah, I'm in a bad predicament because out of the 3 courier services that service the UP of Michigan, USPS is a joke. FedEx is known for stealing our packages. I am
Why
dead
is
serious.
USPS a joke up there?
They are incredibly slow. I mean, they are incredibly slow. Packages never arrive on time. They always arrive late. And that's especially a problem when my family, we order chickens from a place in Iowa. And last year, USPS, and they are the only courier that can do this. They are the only courier that is able to transport live cargo.
Why are they the only one that can do that? Well, I can't.
I don't know if it's.
For legal
I don't know if
reasons?
it's legal stuff. I don't know if it's legal stuff or. I don't remember the exact reason, but there is a specific reason as to why USPS is the only courier service that can transport live cargo, but because they are incredibly slow at delivering packages. We had 2 shipments of chicks. Both of them, all of the chicks arrived dead.
That's animal abuse.
Yeah, it's not good. And it was all because those chicks were packed into a box for too long and they were starved to death. They had no food, they had no water, and USPS took way too long to get them up here. Twice! So this summer, I am driving down to Iowa myself, and I'm going to pick them up. Because we clearly cannot depend on USPS to do it. So that's why we hate them. They are way too slow. And then FedEx is known for stealing our packages and constantly delivering them to the wrong spot. They're just highly incompetent up here for some reason. So that leaves us with our final courier, UPS.
Does DHL not deliver packages up there?
No. DHL hands them off to USPS. So those are the three couriers that handle our packages up in this area. It's USPS and FedEx and UPS. And the reason why this sucks is because Amazon is dropping UPS. Or actually, I think it's UPS is ditching Amazon because Amazon's not paying them enough. Because if I recall, Amazon makes up like 25% of UPS's workflow. And yet, Amazon is only making up 10% of UPS's revenue.
That, I understand that.
So, yeah, I can totally understand why UPS is mad and frustrated and why they're ditching Amazon. Because, yeah, they're making up 25% of their business, yet only 10% of the revenue. Those are unhealthy numbers. That's not good. So, I'm not shocked that UPS decided to ditch Amazon. But that just means bad news for me, because that means the only good courier service to this area is not delivering my packages from Amazon anymore.
And Amazon packages already arrived, had a problem up there of delivering late anyway.
Yeah, I mean, Prime members, you cannot get same-day shipping. Not up here. I mean, you couldn't anywhere else. I'm sure even Teddy in his area, he can probably get same-day shipping.
It's kind of rare, but yeah, you usually the next day or the day after or 2 days. Depends on the package, but yeah, sometimes you can in my area.
Never happens here. That is not a benefit Prime members can take advantage of up here. I can confirm this because my mom is a Prime subscriber and her packages come at the exact same rate mine do, and I am not a Prime subscriber. So, yeah, that's already infuriating enough. Our packages never come on time because we're so out of everybody's way. They have to inconvenience themselves to come and deliver mail to us. But, and this is driving me nuts because I was supposed to have a GPU come in today. To my knowledge, it is still in Illinois. After it left Detroit... When did it leave Detroit? So it left Detroit on Monday, and it's still in Illinois.
If it should have never left your state.
They don't go that way because there's not as many checkpoints heading upstate through the Mackinac Bridge.
But wouldn't it make the most sense to do it that way? Because it would be save money on gas.
Actually, I don't think... Let me actually look it up, the different routes. I'll search up Detroit. Can I enter something? Thank you. Detroit. Directions. It's funny how Apple Maps decided to pick the longest route instead of the shortest. So let me see. So 701. Yeah, it's 500 miles to Detroit from here on the normal route I take. But for whatever reason, the couriers, they don't actually head north to Mackinac City. They head to go they had to go through Chicago and Milwaukee, that area. Why?
I mean, that makes sense. That makes sense on one hand, but on the other hand, you could, because there's not really that. I mean, there are cities up north, especially on I-75 north of Detroit, but not as big. So it would be a lot easier. So it'd be generally so much easier for them to at least drop it off to the Mackinac Bridge and then have a dedicated mail truck just for the UP.
So I don't know exactly which way the mail truck goes, because back when my grandmother was still alive, we still sent each other letters. Yes, the old school method. You know, you write a message on a piece of paper,
Yes.
you fold it up, you put it in an envelope, you lick the stamp and stick it to the envelope, and then you send it in the mail, and then the mailman does the rest. That was back when she was still alive. She lived in Petoskey. That's why we have our summer house there. I don't know. I really hope they didn't choose the long route to go south of Lake Michigan instead of just traveling across the UP. But I mean, when you think about it too, once you get east of Munising, you don't hit any... You almost don't hit any civilization until Sault Ste. Marie and St. Ignace. So I don't know if that has an effect on anything, but no, it's absolutely infuriating. The GPU I ordered was coming from Amazon's Detroit warehouse, and instead of sending it up the short route, again, it's 500 miles from here to Detroit. They are choosing to go around Lake Michigan. Huh?
And drive through Chicago, which is going to be a minimum of 3 hours.
Yeah, it's...
And then Milwaukee.
So let me see. Where is it now? I'm curious. Where do they think my package is now? Is it still in Illinois? It better not be. All right. See all updates. 2:53 p.m. Package left the courier facility at Hodgkins, Illinois, basically Chicago. So supposedly this afternoon, it finally left Illinois. It's been sitting in Illinois for over 2 days.
Man, it's like Ubers don't deserve anything in terms of packages nor stores to actually go get stuff.
I don't know what businesses have against us up here. I mean, we're a little more independent than most, but not to that degree. I mean, we have Walmarts up here.
Yeah, Ubers. It's not bad enough that Ubers don't get stores for the most part, but it's bad enough that they can't even get good shipping.
Yeah, no, shipping up here has always been bad. It's expensive because nobody wants to bring stuff up here. And yeah, basically, if we don't make it ourselves up here, it's expensive because nobody wants to bring it up here because nobody cares. Why would they? So, I don't know. There's my Amazon rant.
Just about curiosity, did you have any chickens at all last year?
We did, but we did not get as good of a deal. We ended up having to pay more to try to find them from a closer place because USPS is that incompetent. But again, we had to pay more.
Do you keep your chickens for more than a year or not?
Well, we do meat birds, so some of them only last a summer. The layers, though, we keep until they either become useless or pass away unexpectedly. But
Yeah, because you can't have more than one rooster in a chicken coop if you don't want to have that many fights.
mm-hmm. So, nonetheless, yeah, this summer I'm going to Iowa to pick up chickens. And then I am going to rush them back home.
It is annoying how that is annoying how USPS is the only service that can deliver live cargo.
Yeah,
Because if they deliver 2 litters of chicks deceased, then that's because they starved. That's animal abuse that could be charged against.
I mean, they have to pay for. They've paid for the loss.
Yeah, but still, like that. Those are animals' lives they're talking about.
Mm-hmm. Well, then again, people could argue, oh, chopping off a chicken's head for food, that's animal abuse.
Yeah, but at least we're getting a benefit out of it. There's no benefit to letting chicks starve like that.
No. So, yeah, come to think of it, that will be Stardust's first time in Iowa. I'm kind of curious to know how many states I can visit with that car. Because so far, I have visited with, well, I live in Michigan, so it's been in this state. Wisconsin, I've taken it there a lot. I've taken it to Illinois, Indiana, Kentucky, Tennessee, North Carolina, South Carolina. So those were all the states for the North Carolina trip. I've then taken it to Ohio, Pennsylvania, Maryland, West Virginia, and Virginia. Yep, she's been in Virginia. And that's 13 states?
I'm not going to say all the states that my... I'm not going to say all... I don't want to say out loud all the states that my car has been to, but I think my car has been to... Let me think. My dad took a under my ownership of it in these past 3 years. It's been to 6, but my dad's taken it to a lot more states because he travels a lot for his job. So
yeah. So this summer I might be adding 2 more states to the roster because I have not taken her to Minnesota yet, nor have I taken her to Iowa. So yeah, it'll be good to add a few more states to the list. I put so many miles on that thing. I'm over 81,000 at this point.
Well, cars are meant to be used. Besides, you're not driving a CVT car, so it can actually handle that.
Yes, it can. I feel bad for Tabby's GTI, though. From the sounds of it, it might be getting totaled.
Wasn't it already totaled?
No, not beforehand. They thought that it could be fixed, though. From what I'm hearing, the initial guy they took it to had committed insurance fraud for something. And so...
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, so... pulled the car out of that place, took it to another place, and they found even more damage. And because he's been without his car... When did the accident happen? October?
Yeah, sometime like that.
So it's been like 5 months. He's had his car... He's been without his car for 5 months. That's a long time to be without a car. So at this point, he's been debating on whether or not to total it and just get a new one because it's been 5 months. That's ridiculous.
Agreed.
So I don't know. I am completely out of things to talk about. And if anything, I wonder, is he available right now? So we can discuss a few things. Let me see.
I highly doubt it, or else he would
I
have
do
jumped
too.
on.
It'll be so good to finally be out of a place where the garage is constantly going off.
Where is your mom even going at this time of night?
Church.
But today's Thursday.
Doesn't mean the church has other programs. They hold a program that's for doing yoga to the rosary.
Ah. Oh, right, because you probably don't have that many exercise classes up there.
Mm-hmm. Let me see. I highly doubt he's going to have any. Because based off of what I saw on the Find My Friends, apparently he's at his girlfriend's again.
Yeah.
So, but hey, doesn't hurt to ask.
Yeah,
Doesn't
he's
hurt
probably
to
not
ask.
available, so.
Nonetheless, I am completely out of topics. I'm out of ideas. I don't suppose you have anything left to add, do you?
I mean, the only other thing I guess I could mention is that, ties seem kind of tedious to tie, I'll say that. There's a reason why I don't wear ties very much.
They're really not that hard.
Yeah, they're not. Usually my mom does them for me, but yeah, they're not that hard, but I also don't go to enough formal occasions where they're required, so.
Yeah, for me, what I can't stand is the bow ties. There's a choral group that I'm a part of, and
A choral group?
Do you not know what choral is?
Yeah, coral is in the ocean.
I'm talking about choir singing.
You mean choir?
Choral
Okay,
group
now I
is
know
another
what
way
you're
to say it. Yep. But yeah, I'm a part of a choral group, and the attire for the men is supposed to be black pants, white shirt, and for whatever reason, they insist we need a bow tie.
Like a Chevy?
Not that type of bow tie.
I know, but still.
Do I even have it on my desk? I usually have it here somewhere, though I'm not seeing it. I don't know where I put it. Nonetheless, I hate bow ties. I really do. So,
In my contact photo, I'm wearing a bow tie. Although that might be changed. Although maybe I will have to put on my Dwight outfit for my new contact photo.
you pulled that look so well.
I really did look like him.
So
I probably won't do that though, because that's not me. That's me trying to be somebody else. So
yeah. So I guess
besides
now we know now we know who you're going for Halloween.
Next Halloween, I think I might do Steve Jobs. I didn't do it today because I thought it was gonna be too hot for tour turtleneck. But next Halloween, I probably will do Steve Jobs. But I will tell you this though, that for my next contact photo will likely be one of my prom photos. I'll probably use the you guys won't, the viewers won't see it. That's like on my iMessage that you'll be able to see it if you know me personally.
Yeah. Never went to prom.
Yeah, I get it.
Valentine's Day's tomorrow, right?
It's Saturday, and I still have no Valentine.
When is it? Oh, I guess it is Saturday. I thought it was Friday. Nope, guess not. Definitely not one of my favorite holidays.
Well, yeah, Valentine's Day isn't mine either, because, I mean, it's great if you have somebody, but if you don't, then it's just kind of boring. And Valentine's Day, like those little Valentine's parties we would have at my elementary school when you would get lots of candy and such, it's just, I've never found that appealing. It's like, yay, I get to decorate a box and get lots of meaningless cards that I'll probably, or I mean, they're not meaningless, but cards that I'll throw away immediately, and lots of candy that I'll probably never eat. That's why I don't go trick-or-treating.
Well, I don't technically go. I mean, I kind of do. I just sit in the car so that way I can take my sister trick-or-treating.
Ah. Oh right, because it's not nice enough on Halloween by Halloween night for you to both to go outside.
Oh no, they still walk around. It's just the parents it's just parents and guardians. They sit in the cars to stay warm. The kids walk around and trick or treat.
Yeah, well, most of the time when you do trick or treating, at least in my town, it's not done cars. Like most of the time, even in my area, even if you live out in the countryside, you'll just go to your neighbors' houses.
Mm-hmm. Well, it can be 40 degrees out here, and there are still kids out in their costumes trick or treating.
Oh, same here.
Does it have 40 degrees in your area around that time?
It has done that in the past.
Hmm.
That's not the most uncommon thing.
I remember the one time it was 20 degrees in October. Gosh, that was awful.
The coldest October day I remember has been like 35 degrees with the high. Or no, 40 is usually the lowest high we get.
I keep hearing we're supposed to get another cold snap.
You always have cold snaps, though.
I mean, like the whole country. The whole country's supposed to get another polar vortex or cold snap or something like that.
I sure hope not.
I mean,
we
I
already
don't care.
had a big one.
It's business as usual for me, so I don't really care that much. But
it's not for me.
I don't know. Last week I think I sent a text asking if I should make a video about traction control on and off.
Yeah,
I've just been waiting for lake effect to happen so that we have snow and slippery conditions. The problem is it's been so nice this past week.
So it's not actually bad weather when you need it.
Well, yeah. The one time I want bad weather, we don't get it. Although I know it's coming at some point. Because it doesn't stop until after April.
Usually it stops in February, sometimes March. Usually sometimes March in my area.
Oh, we're too far north for March.
Yeah.
We don't even get April showers. It's just April ice showers. So there's no May flowers.
Most of the time, there's some April. Most days in April, I don't even have to bring a jacket with me, most places. Sometimes I do, but usually I still... Actually, I don't always. There's still about half the days where I have to wear pants or short or pants or jeans in April, but yeah, it's not the like most of the time, like for prom photos, because prom, never mind, but yeah, most of the time for prom photos, because that's usually in April. Usually, like most of the time, like people are out taking pictures without coats or jackets or anything. It's usually nice those days.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we also April showers I don't find to be quite as big of a trend down here. I mean, we obviously get rain in April, but it's not like every day.
Interesting.
We do get April showers though, but it's not that constant. So yeah, that's
Well, ours are
I
April
guess.
snow showers, so.
Yeah.
I really hope that graphics card comes tomorrow because I would really like to get this computer out of here and into the office.
It won't come tomorrow because of Murphy's Law.
Dude, do not remind me.
Murphy's
I
Law
finally
got me sick.
I finally had a smooth day at the office today. Nobody pissed off. No machines acting wonky for some stupid reason. It was finally a nice, smooth, easygoing day. I don't need any more Murphy's Law at the moment.
I've only ever heard you talk about Murphy's Law.
I am so tired of Murphy's Law. I hate it so much. And it's because I am all too familiar with it.
You think you're the only one who's too familiar with it?
Oh, how many times have you experienced Murphy's Law? For me, it's an hourly basis.
Depends. To be fair, Murphy's Law might probably happen so much to me that I just forget it. Don't even count it as Murphy's Law.
So. Oh, that's interesting. I'm looking at the tracking again. They changed couriers.
Who's doing it now?
They were in the process of handing it off to the best courier. The one who doesn't work with Amazon anymore.
Who are they doing it to now?
So it started off with USPS, United States Postal Service, and it made its way to Chicago, and now I'm looking, it changed to UPS.
Phew.
So is that why it spent almost 2 days in Chicago? It was USPS trying to hand it off to UPS.
Isn't USPS by law supposed to deliver everywhere in the United States?
Well, yeah. I mean, they still deliver to here. Although I'm wondering if they know the value of what's in the package and that's kind of spooking them.
How come that? Oh, because people will possibly steal it.
Yeah. Last I checked, the graphics card cost $1,200. As much as I hate saying that,
Does it have any?
I spent.
Oh yeah, because
way too much money.
Is there anything on the outside of the box that will give a hint as to what's inside?
I don't know. I don't know if. I mean, I would assume it would be in a normal Amazon box on the outermost side. I don't know if PNY does anything specific to their design of the packaging with their graphics cards, but then there's the other thing too. It's like, how do you know how much that graphics card costs? It could be $400. It could be $3,000. And the thing that I think people would have a harder time figuring out whether they want to steal or not is it's not a standard Nvidia graphics card. It's a Quadro card. And because of that,
that would probably if it was stolen, it would probably just be stolen for the resale value.
Well, here's the thing. I'm not entirely sure. If you're stealing it for personal use, you don't want a Quadro card. You'd want like a normal Nvidia 50 series, be it 5060, 5070. Although the more higher value ones that you'd want to steal are probably the 5070 and 5080 and 5090 especially. And just so you know, I'm not suggesting you guys steal anything. I'm just saying that's more likely to be stolen by the courier services. But the thing is that drives me nuts is from a raw performance perspective, it is effectively an Nvidia 3070 Ti for $1,200. For reference, $1,200 is supposed to get you a 5080.
Yikes.
So, why did I spend $1,200 for a Quadro card? It's because it's validated hardware that SolidWorks likes. That's why I went Quadro. Though, I'm still confused. Why am I paying $1,200 for what is effectively a 3070 Ti?
How much is a 3070 Ti?
Way less than that! I mean, Nvidia doesn't sell it anymore because they're on the 50 series. But I don't know. Let me go to eBay and actually look it up. Where's eBay? Shopping. eBay. Nvidia 3070 Ti. Ranging from $300 to $400. Yeah. It's that bad.
That's like the equivalent of the Apple Studio display having the same monitor as same display panel for $1,600 as a $200 2014 5K iMac.
And Nvidia gets away with it because there's nothing to compete with them.
Nvidia. What are you gonna do about
$250 for a 3070 Ti? Again, that's what the Quadro card I bought is equivalent to.
Does Nvidia make the Quadro? No, wait, that's PNY.
Well, no. So the way it works for graphics cards, and it took me a while to figure this out, Nvidia makes the chip. They make the actual GPU, the chip. PNY, what they do is they buy the chip from Nvidia and they put it onto a circuit board or a video card that you can plug into your computer.
So is the Nvidia like 5080? Is that Nvidia's own in-house cards?
No, the 5080 itself is the actual GPU core unit. But the reason why you see so many other brands, like not just Nvidia, because Nvidia does sell their own card that you can buy and put into your system. They call it the Founders Edition series. But when you look at everyone else that sells graphic cards, like P&Y, like I mentioned, there's also Asus, there's Gigabyte, there's MSI. All they're doing is they're buying that GPU from Nvidia and putting it into their own circuit boards and cards that you shove into your system.
So Nvidia's a monopoly.
Yep.
At
least in the validated hardware Quadro space. Well, Quadro is an Nvidia term, but these are cards that are more optimized for business and work production environments. While the regular 50 series or 40 series, those normal series, those are optimized for like everyday use. For average Joes. Though primarily they're marketed towards gamers. Because for the most part, average Joes don't need that type of power unless they're doing YouTube on a PC and not a Mac. Or they're just playing video games on their computer. But no, for business use, you typically want to go the Quadro route, even though you're not getting as much performance. But the benefit supposedly is it's validated hardware that is known to work, because I do hear that the regular series is prone to potential driver and software issues. That's the supposed reasoning. But then also the Quadro comes with other benefits like more VRAM, I guess, more memory, because for a general home user, you're probably assumed to be doing like one task at a time. But for business, you might have multiple SolidWorks files open. Or you might have this super large assembly you're working on. And if that's the case, yeah, we want that memory. So there's a few reasons why Nvidia keeps it separate. AMD does compete with Nvidia in the normal consumer space, but in the business space, AMD is nothing. Oh, and Intel... Intel's got nothing. They are such a joke in the GPU space.
So you're telling me that Nvidia can be busted for antitrust?
Oh yeah, and it's been done multiple times. But the problem is every single time there's no one who wants to compete with them. AMD is only in the consumer space, not business. And then Intel, they are just barely starting to get into the consumer space in terms of discrete graphics. But for businesses, there is no competition. There's literally nobody else exists. So it's like they can find Nvidia all they want. And in some aspects they totally should. But there's still ultimately no other competitor. Nobody wants to compete in that sector. Nvidia's the only one.
Maybe that's why Nvidia is so comfortable.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why they can charge such outrageous prices, like $1,200 for a graphics card with the exact same performance as a 3070 Ti. When supposedly that's supposed to be able to get you a 5080. So, no, I was not looking forward to buying that GPU, because I knew I had it, but I knew I was going to be paying way too much money for that thing. But what else am I going to do? I need a GPU for work, and Nvidia's the only one that provides them.
You're gonna stick with Nvidia.
It's my only option. I legit have no other option. I would love to use Mac, except the problem is SolidWorks doesn't really think maybe it's a good idea to optimize for other platforms outside of Windows.
Imagine if you get done building this PC and then SolidWorks announces they're coming to Mac.
Oh, I would be so upset. I mean, the company's supposed to buy it from me, so supposedly. So if that were the case, then they'd have a extra computer on hand. I mean, we're a bit low in supply on actual functioning computers at the moment. So at least computers that are capable of running SolidWorks, we've only got the boss's personal tower and his laptop. I'm running SolidWorks off of my XPS for now. And that's pretty much it. Any other tower that we have is pretty much from like the early 2000s with GPUs that are basically died. And even then, I don't even think they can handle SolidWorks, a modern application today. So, yeah, there's basically only 3 computers that are capable of running SolidWorks. And it's a bit of a problem. So, that one down there will be the 4th. So, yeah, it's just in general, we could really use some new computers, but even then, it's just if I get the option to use Mac at my,
You need a new label maker.
We're actually getting a new one, by the way.
What?
And it's because the computer that the Windows 7 tower, the only one left, it was actually my boss's old computer. We had to pull the power supply from it to save the company server during a power surge. So that means the only computer that is capable of driving our label maker is finally dead. And that means the label maker has no use to us.
Why can't you just put the power supply back in the computer?
Because it's powering our server. We need that server.
Oh.
And
Well,
it's
that's
not like we're going to find another
news.
power supply due to Dell's proprietary BS about power supplies and motherboards and that type of stuff.
Is your server a Dell?
It's built with Dell hardware, yeah. It's a little custom built. It was repurposed Dell tower, but it's still ultimately Dell hardware. And the problem with Dell hardware is their proprietariness, and that means all of their power supplies are linked to their motherboards. You cannot interchange them. We got so lucky that we could with this instance, but it's like good luck finding another power supply. It's an over 25-year-old computer. We're not going to find a power supply for that. So, yep. The Windows 7 tower is dead, and we need a new label maker because we have nothing to drive it anymore. So, yep, we're getting a new label maker.
Finally. I've been begging you since 2022 to get a new one.
Just wasn't high on the priority list, but now, considering we have an employee with, I won't say OCD, but super prioritizes cleanliness, yeah, we need a new label maker.
Oh, you guys got more employees now? I mean, I knew you had the one, but...
We're currently up to 5, I think.
Oh, yeah, 5.
So, a lot better than 3. Though, yeah, we've been at 5 for a while. We used to be at 6 until the one left for Chicago for some reason. I have no idea why. Why would anybody want to go to Chicago?
Probably because it has faster delivery than the UP. But even then...
Chicago is a hole. It's just a hole. I am intentionally leaving a specific word out of it.
Yeah.
So, but yep, we're currently at 5, and so far it's a fairly healthy number. I'll say that much. Just sucks that we gotta move everything next month.
Ah, yeah, it's moving day. At least you
Moving
can
is going to
move.
suck. It's still gonna cost $20,000 to do it, considering the equipment we have to move.
At least you did. At least you didn't go on. At least you didn't go down under.
Yup, that's good. Otherwise, I'd have no idea where I'd be right now. So, and then I wouldn't have had a reason to build that computer in the first place.
Yeah. Yeah, you wouldn't want to be down under in the land of unemployment.
That would just be terrible. Because at
then
that point, then I'd have to take a really big risk if I were to become unemployed, say tomorrow. It's effectively I have to pack up all of my stuff. I'd have to move somewhere out. I mean, I wouldn't mind it that much. It's not like I completely love this area, but I don't know. Part of me is just not excited to go into a larger company with better job security. Supposedly, it's just. Have you heard of the concept of corporate politics?
Oh, you mean your company's getting bought out?
No, it's not. It's just if I were to get laid off and I'd have to find a job elsewhere.
Oh yeah, corporate politics. Yeah, that's more annoying than real politics.
Yeah. Because you can turn off the news so you don't have to listen to governmental politics. But no, corporate politics is just. Politics, period, is just bad.
Yeah, and corporate politics are even worse because corporate politics affect you a lot more.
Mm-hmm. And for me, it's just, I do things differently. I don't do things the same way everybody else does, and I know I'd strike other people's nerves because I do things differently.
And the more time jobs get laid off from, the less likely you will likely be, the less likely other firms will want to hire you.
Yeah, I don't want to deal with corporate politics. I really don't. That, and I just like the idea of supporting someone who's always been supporting me all my years. So,
Is your plan to eventually take over the business?
I don't think so. I don't think that's what I want. I found I'm just not a good manager. Because if I try to manage something, instead of helping people figure out what it is they need to do, most of the time I just end up stepping in and doing it myself. I've got the mentality of, if you want something done right, then you've just got to do it yourself. I've lost so much faith in humanity, and I cannot trust them to do a simple job. And so, oftentimes that resorts to me needing to go through the, you want something done right, then you got to do it yourself method. And it's that's not a good manager's habit. It kind of sucks because that's part of my role today. I'm second in command at the company. And so that does mean managing employees. I'm just grateful I only have 2 to manage. So far, 2 is relatively okay. And at least they're competent employees. It's the incompetent ones that I just cannot stand.
Well, if they're incompetent, then you know what you can do to them.
Well, I don't have the ability to fire people. I may be a manager, but I'm not an employer. I'm not a boss.
But if you are the boss, then
Ultimately, though, it's just I can't do that. And then my job right now is effectively I get handed a print or a design, and I need to take that and make it a physical object. That's what my job is. At least the core of my job. On top of that, it's managing a couple other employees and training, because I'm the second most experienced at the company. My boss is the most experienced, obviously. But no, for the most part, my job description is I take something on paper and I turn it into a physical object. When you become the official boss, you have to do more than just that. You have to actually seek out the work. You have to manage the bills and the finances and make some difficult decisions on whether to hire specific people or not, whether to partner up or various other. It's just that's not the type of work I like doing at all.
mm-hmm.
I mean, the way I describe the process with YouTube, I come up with a video concept and I make it in the form of, for YouTube's cases, it's in the form of YouTube videos. Sometimes I'll come up with a song or some musical idea. Well, then I'll go and make it something you can listen to. But to me, for the most part, my job isn't necessarily to seek out the work and manage the bills and all that type. That's not my type of skill set. My type of skill set is take the concept, make it a reality. So that is why I have no plans on ever becoming the boss, the head honcho of the company. That's not where my skills lie. So that's all I have to say on that. I'm also not looking forward to a half an hour long commute.
It won't be that bad.
My current commute is 10 minutes, and I have to up it to a half an hour.
Though.
Then I gotta deal with the bridge too, and if I hit the bridge at the wrong time, then that just...
This is why they should build a second bridge.
They've been discussing it for years. The problem is the same as Microsoft. They're all talk, no walk. That and our civil engineer around here is just terrible. Absolutely horrible.
Maybe even a third bridge. Like somewhere else outside to connect the two islands.
The problem is the canal. The canal is so deep because it has to be able to... It has to be able to fit freighters. Even though we haven't had a freighter come through here in such a long time, minus the one exception a couple of years ago. And I think it only came in just to avoid a storm out in Lake Superior. But the problem is the canal is so deep because it has to account for freighters. And so they got to be careful as to where they build a bridge. And it also makes making a tunnel difficult too, because now you have to go really deep underground if you wanted to do a tunnel.
So I'm guessing the bridge would have to be in Houghton if they did another one.
It just makes the most sense. Because, I mean, you want to do it where there's traffic, right?
Yeah.
Well, if you pull up a map, let's do that again. Let's pull up a map again. For me, I don't have to zoom that far because I live basically in Houghton. Okay, let's go basically M26. Let's look on the west side of the bridge. M26. Well, you got Canal Road where there's a bunch of houses there, plus Kestner Park. So there's not really a good place to build a bridge there. Although it looks like there's plenty of spots in Hancock to do it. But you've got nothing on basically anything west of 26. And it's all residential. And I'm sure the residents there would so love having more traffic being sent through there. So, okay, let's go on the east side of the bridge. Okay, east, there's a lot more city traffic in downtown Houghton and all that. But then you're outside of Hancock. You're in the village of Ripley, although it's not the worst spot. That's probably a better place to do it. And you're relatively close to Tech. There's a few spots where it narrows. But let me see. Where's the... Yeah, then you got the other problem, too. It's elevation. It's... There's a lot of elevation changes you have to deal with around here. Because this is such a hilly area. Let me see. Best place I thought they could do it is by the East Loop in downtown Houghton and cut across to...
Where's the East Loop?
So if you look at downtown Houghton, the west side of the loop begins... It's the Upper Loop. It's right at the bridge. And if you follow downtown Houghton, you will find another... It kind of looks like a roundabout, but it's not technically a roundabout.
I see it.
Yeah, that's the East Loop. There's a space there that looks like would be a good place to build a bridge straight across, because the land comes in close. But nonetheless, they won't do that. Nope, that's not residential. That's industrial. So that shouldn't be a problem. But, I mean, I don't know. That would be a good place to do it. There's another spot near Michigan Tech that also looks like a potentially good place for it. But, no, for whatever reason, they cannot pull the trigger. They talk so much about needing a second bridge. And it's true, we really do need a second bridge. That bridge, it becomes a real bottleneck during rush hour. We don't really have much of a rush hour except at the bridge. That's it.
I wonder where they... I imagine the biggest reason why they would put a bridge is if they just is again if my idea for an interstate up to Houghton materializes, in which case that would include a second bridge, the second bridge that would just loop back to 41, so that way trucks and whatnot so that way people could bypass the main bridge and then get back on 41 to go up north if they really want to.
Yeah, it's just the problem always comes back to where are they going to put a second bridge? Because it doesn't really help that the bridge right now is basically on the west side of Houghton and the east side of Hancock, the two cities. And that's where the traffic is heaviest.
Well, you could also just convert that into an interstate standard bridge if you tear down some buildings on both sides.
What do you have to tear down? You have to tear down the courthouse on the north side, and I mean, there's a... Oh no, we're not losing the Ambassador. The Ambassador is such a great restaurant. But yeah, the surrounding buildings are... effectively, there's the Downtowner Lounge, then there's Orbeon. I'm quite familiar with those guys, actually. And then
What's
on the north
Orbeon?
side... Huh?
What's... Oh, that's aircraft repair service, okay.
That is not a good description of what they do. That is not. They're a space development They're a space development firm.
Oh.
I'm dead serious. They make stuff that gets sent into space. So, okay, I'm a bit confused why they're labeled like that in Apple Maps, but okay. But yeah, on the north side, you've got the courthouse and the Ramada. I haven't been there in a while, actually.
What's the Ramada? Is that a hotel?
It's a hotel, and they've also got a restaurant built into this particular one. Yeah, the waterfront. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I haven't eaten there in such a long time. I think it's been like 10 years since I've had a meal there last.
You should go there.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure where they put the second bridge, but doesn't matter what I think. I just know
they
that
would
we
do
need
it on
it.
the east side. My idea was that they would do it on the east side, right as you're leaving the. It was upgraded to interstate standards, and I would say put it on the east side. Because like on the east side of Houghton, that would be where the. Of course, if they did that, they would probably have an exit for Route 41 on the east side of Houghton, because that's obviously necessary.
That bridge is one of Houghton's worst engineering failures ever.
I know, like, why couldn't they have designed the Upper Loop to be, I don't know, just a simple intersection?
Well, you can't put a traffic light there. Because then you'd have massive traffic. You just have gridlock if you put a traffic light there.
Why?
Because that's where all of the traffic gets. That is the one place where traffic always gets backed up. So if you actually hit a red light, if you put a red light there, you are never getting cars through there. It's just going to keep backing up and backing up. It'll be endless. I mean, the bridge does actually have traffic lights for when it lifts. It's a lift bridge.
Wow, that's... How are you supposed to get across if it lifts?
You don't. You have to wait for the boat to go underneath it.
Oh my god. That sounds fun.
Oh, yeah. It's really fun when you're trying to make it to a dentist appointment on time.
That didn't happen to you, did it?
I was half an hour late for that dentist appointment. They actually called me asking if I was canceling.
You had to reply. I'm guessing they understood because the bridge was inaccessible.
It's a known thing. You could probably even say, whenever somebody asks you, why are you late? You just say, the bridge. And they're like, oh, yep, okay. And they'll just believe you. Because it's that bad of a problem. You can't get away with it as much in the wintertime, but in the summer, oh, you can get away with it as much as you want.
How come you can't get away with it as much in the winter?
Because the canal typically freezes over. Therefore, no boats are going underneath it.
So in other words, if you go over does traffic just back up when the bridge closes? Oh my god. And that's the only bridge?
That's the only bridge. And you want to know how far I have seen traffic back up for when the bridge goes up? Follow M26. Follow M26, heading south. Do you see where Sharon Avenue is?
Oh, I gotta get back on the map.
Yep.
Sharon Avenue. That's not that bad.
That's actually pretty bad for around here. Despite our
My dad
normal
was
light traffic, that is a humongous anomaly for around here.
Yeah, I mean, I get. My dad was once in a traffic jam that was 30 miles long, and so he stopped in an Outback Steakhouse, and when he got back on, it lengthened to a 50-mile traffic jam.
Yep.
Yeah, it was
But
that
again,
bad.
to understand what is typical around here, that's bad. It's a really bad traffic jam. And then
Of course,
it
it's
also
not as bad as that
extends,
traffic jam in China.
Oh yeah, yeah,
You know
and then
about
it'll
the one I'm
extend all
talking
the
about,
way.
right?
That's just the yeah. So the traffic jam on M26. That's on M26 if you're coming from US 41 because of course it's coming from two directions. If you take a look at MTU, yeah, you will be backed up even past that. I've seen it as bad all the way to where's a good location on the map? The Crest. The Crest on US 41, just east of Michigan Tech.
The Christ. Let me find that. Oh!
That's a bad one. And then, of course, it also backs up Hancock and Ripley, and it's a nightmare whenever we have a boat go underneath. Because what sucks is the way traffic laws work, boats have the right of way. So if you have a boat that will not fit under the bridge as is, then you have the right to have them lift it so that way you can go underneath.
I'm guessing that's why most interstate bridges are really, really high, because they obviously can't shut down an interstate bridge most of the time.
Yep, that's exactly why. And the lift bridge, it is definitely not high enough.
Why don't they just make the lift bridge higher?
Due to the way the land's shaped, they just can't do it. And again, potent civil engineering. They suck. That requires them to actually do a good job for once. They won't do it. But
How
actually,
many
no, the
lanes
biggest
is the
problem is just
bridge?
elevation. Huh?
How many lanes is the bridge?
2 heading north, 2 heading south. As long as there's no road work.
Which, doesn't that happen every summer up in the Midwest?
Yep, every single one.
And, I don't know how Midwesterners survive driving, because they have to drive through the snow and ice, and sometimes in whiteouts, depending on how far up you go. And then in the summertime, the roads are all filled with potholes, and you get construction every year. I don't know how you do it.
Just barely.
When my dad and I went up north one time, my dad said, "Gee, no wonder why people go through cars so fast up here."
Yeah. No, the roads are brutal on them. I'm really debating this summer getting my car suspension serviced. Cause she's had a rough 3 years driving these roads. And I try to take her gingerly in the spots that I know are bad. It's just they suck. They really do.
At least it's not so bad that military tanks have to pull over, which I did actually see one time down south.
What?
I'll text to you how that happened.
Okay. Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, I did have the car back when our road was completely torn up and you had to drive slower than 5 miles an hour just to not give yourself whiplash.
Yikes.
Yeah, I had just bought the car. Our roads are terrible. Alright, what's this?
I want you to mention it out loud, but yeah, that was
Okay.
unreal.
That's certainly bizarre.
Yeah, tanks couldn't even handle that.
Mm-hmm.
My car was somehow handled that.
Well, it's a Mercedes. It's got a nice suspension setup.
I think I even did it at the normal speed in that. Yeah, but that was... In other words, we're out of time, so shall we go ahead and conclude the show since we've been rambling on for well over an hour at this point?
Yeah. Sorry, everyone. Are we really, though?
It's a dry season. It's a dry season. Well, not literally, but in the world of tech it is. So, as always, thank you all for tuning into our episode of the iTunes Fan Podcast. As always, I'm Teddy Maggart from the iTunes Fanboy.
And my name is Alpha DeWolf from the Random Alpha.
And as always, we hope to see you all in the next episode, where hopefully I will feel better. So, take care and peace out.